first time in a helicopter?
Welcome, you scruffy-looking nerf herders, to the SuperHouse Podcast review of Solo, a Star Wars story. There will be spoilers, so beware. All right, guys, are we ready? We're gonna do this?
Yay!
All right, Andrew, since you usually go last, what's your general thoughts on Solo?
Better than The Last Jedi. Boom!
Nice.
Damn, it was gonna happen, and we all knew it. Joey, general thoughts?
Fun ride.
Sweet, Stefan.
A little rough around the edges, but I really enjoyed it.
Damn it, you stole my line.
Oh, sorry.
Put that in there so you didn't steal it. No, it's fine. No, I enjoyed it because that's all I have to say now because Stefan ruins everything.
That's true.
All right, so what did you guys think of Han Solo, the kid that plays him? Andrew.
Yeah, so I think the operative phrase here is less is more. He's sort of kind of underacting, but it doesn't really bother me all that much. So I mean, he gets a passing grade from me, I guess. I mean, they probably could have found somebody better, honestly, but he didn't ruin the movie either for me. I don't know, maybe that's too low of a bar, but yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Cool. Joey?
I agree with Andrew pretty much. I thought he was fine. Like, to try and, look at was it Alden? That's his name, Alden.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah, it's to try and liken him to Harrison Ford. Just you're going to be disappointed. To anybody to try and go for the, who's ever going to be Han. But I thought he did a fine job. He kind of had his own take on Han. Yeah, I agree that the acting was kind of like, a little like he was kind of underacting, like Andrew said. But I thought he was fine. Like I didn't, he was fine.
Sweet. Stefan?
Did you hear the
question?
Yeah, about young Alden Ehrenreich or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he did an awesome job carrying the movie. It was nice to see that it seemed like he wouldn't, he couldn't nail Harrison completely 100%, kind of like what Joey was saying. He was able to carry it in his own right, and I thought he did a really good job. In the same way that, like Hayden Christensen embodied Anakin and, James Earl Jones as Vader or whatever. There's kind of a his own his way of doing it, and I liked that a lot.
Cool. Go ahead if you do have more to say.
I said I liked him.
Oh, cool. When I was watching the movie, I was sitting there, arms crossed, huffing and puffing, like, you ain't no Harrison. You ain't no Harrison. And then by the time that movie ended, I went, you're not a bad Han Solo. You're not great, kid, but you're pretty good.
Don't get cocky.
So I'm looking forward to other Solo films. I think just like me coming to terms like this is going to be Solo now. If he appears in any other film or anything else, this is the new Han Solo. And that's going to suck for some people, but, I didn't think he was terrible. He could be a lot better. And, with the trouble that with Solo, it's, he did a good job, And so I have one random question I just read about today. I'm going to ask you guys while we're on Han Solo topic. Did you like the way that Han Solo got his name? Because some people did not care for it when the guy goes, "What's your name?" Or he says, right. The droid or the Empire guy is like, what's your family? And he's like, I don't have any. And he's like, Solo.
Who's your people?
Yeah. And so some fans, I guess, are upset about it. I didn't really mind it. And I was just kind of like, that's kind of cool. I didn't see that coming. But I guess also that was one of the big factors of why they made the movie, just because Kasdan was like, wouldn't that be sweet? Or isn't that a cool idea? So I was wanting to run it by the SuperHouse boys, see what y'all think. Andrew?
I didn't hate it. Is this the scene that everybody's talking about? I've read some headlines, but I didn't know that was it. So this is the one that everybody's bitching about.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah, it's just okay. Solo. I mean, Is there a better way they could have done that? I do think so. Does it ruin the movie? No. Does it ruin my childhood? No. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. It's not the worst thing about the movie. You know, like, I don't know. I maybe it was them focusing on the wrong things, because that really shouldn't have been a priority. Where did he get his name? That's so interesting. No, it's not. So, yeah, that's what I think about that.
Joey?
I didn't mind it. I thought they definitely. I pretty much agree with Andrew. Like, they could have found maybe a better way to do it. But when I heard it, I definitely felt the screams of a million people. As soon as I heard that, I was like, okay. The entire Star Wars community just like groaned, and it's like super pissed right now. But me, I was like, maybe you guys could have done it better, but whatever, because it was so quick, you know.
Yeah.
Stefan?
At first I thought it was a little silly, but I was just like, I don't know. It was a good, after reading that Kasdan thing, it was a really good kind of emotional thing. And I like that line where he's like, "Who's your people?" And he says, "I don't have any people." I was just like, yeah, I know what's coming next.
Yeah, I know, right?
They should have waited. They should have waited somehow to, instead of doing the credits the way that they did, they should have waited till he said, like right after, he's like, "I have no people," whatever. He's like, "Han," and then it should have been boom, Solo, and then the movie.
Oh shit, I would have liked that.
That would have been rad.
That's why I went to film school.
I honestly, like I said, I didn't even really notice it. And I thought when I was like, after like the next scene after that, I was like, still, it was in the back of my mind, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, you just assume Solo has a family, and I like, because of certain events that are foretold in Force Awakens, he's like, there's only one person carrying on his name like him, you know, and it's not even his real last. I just think that's kind of cool, like, to think about where Han is, like, I mean, what has happened in the newer films and stuff. So I don't know. I liked it. I didn't understand why everybody was getting so upset about it. I mean, I didn't really need Papa Solo showing up in another Solo film. I like that he's a loner. I don't really need people who are like, "Han, you got to come back. We need you to go work on the farm." It's like, fuck that, man. It's Han Solo. He doesn't answer to anyone. He does what he wants. That's the Han Solo I know. So, next question is, we finally get to see his home planet, Corellia. What did you all think of that? Did you like the look of it? Did you expect something else, something a little grander? Andrew?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I probably could have, like, I wanted to see a little bit more of it, but I mean, it just seemed to be kind of like a seedy underground underbelly of a planet, like the shittiest part of the downtown area of your city made into a whole planet. And I liked it overall. I did get the feeling, you know, like, this is in a lot of the Star Wars movies where the space is in general is kind of like lawless almost. Like, there's a lot of it is just unregulated. So like, it's just kind of cool to see these whole planets that are just like full of fucking criminals, and to see Han come from that kind of background is kind of cool, and it kind of makes it believable that he doesn't really trust anybody, and Woody Harrelson's character only makes it worse. So I think yeah, I don't know, I liked it overall. I liked the speed chase scene and all that. That was pretty cool. It was interesting to see like a airport kind of scene where they need like a passport and IDs or whatever to fucking get on a ship to go somewhere. That was new in Star Wars, I think. So I don't know, I appreciated that.
Cool. Joey?
Yeah, dude, I liked it. It definitely kind of shows where like Han came from to kind of make him be the way he is. You know, doesn't trust anybody and is always, you know, he's working with you know, we see him in the first Star Wars. He owes Han or Jabba money, you know, and he's trying to get it to him. And I like the fact that, like, in this, I'll just say this scene for now, this planet, like, most of the creatures or aliens are all practical. You know, yeah. Like the whatever the mama's name is, the one who like controls the whole like her city or maybe the whole planet. You know, she's just like this worm with jewelry. You know, so that was pretty rad. Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, I hadn't really thought about it ever about, oh, I wonder what Han's planet looks like. You know, I guess I'd never really heard much or really was ever described. And so I was just like, yeah, all right, I'll buy this.
I thought Corellia was dope. It was great to see Han's home planet. I wish we would have seen a little bit more of it. Like, I know that's where he's from is like the seedier side, but it might have been nice to have like a chase not within that city limit of wherever he was living, just to get a different feel for what else Corellia looked like. But, you know, who knows? We might end up going back there in future films. But I thought it was cool. I got really excited when it showed up. I was like, oh, shit, this is where Han's from. So, coming up next, can't have Han without who else? Chewbacca. So what were you guys' thoughts on Chewie? Andrew, go ahead.
Yeah, I like the introductory scene. I like once he was dropped down into that pit, I was hoping it was going to be Chewie, and then I got my wish. And man, I loved Han speaking Wookiee, whatever their language is called.
So good.
Oh man, that was like one of the highlights of the whole movie for me. I kind of wish he kept doing that like throughout, because he only did it in the beginning. But like to see it like an all muddy Chewie, and then takes a fucking shower with him, and then you get maybe it's Maybelline Chewie for the rest of the movie.
That's the only Chewie I want.
I mean, I loved it, man. I thought this is the best showcase of Chewie out of any of the movies. They've done a good job with him in the rebooted trilogy so far and all that, but I think this was kind of the highlight, really, was this one. And I wish that they would I wish that there was more of a callback to the Christmas special with instead of saving. I wish it was a whole plot point. I wish that like they were saving like some of his family or something, like that you saw.
No one wants to remember the Christmas special,
dude. If they did that like written well, I don't know, man. I would appreciate that, and just have like a whole like big ass scene of just them talking and it's subtitled.
But if it was his family, he probably would have left with them, wouldn't you think?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm just dreaming here. I don't know how it would be done, but yeah, Chewie done really well in this movie overall. No complaints really whatsoever, other than I just wanted more.
Sweet. Joey,
I thought it was great. It was cool. Like on the scene later in the film, not too much later, but they're doing a mission, and it's like hair's blowing in the wind, and it looks great. Like he looks awesome.
Yeah.
It was cool seeing him like being captured down there and like super muddy, and him and Han becoming friends right there. Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Sweet. I'm just gonna go ahead and go since Stefan's bounced for the moment. Cool. Yeah, I really love the moment where Han meets Chewie for the first time when he gets thrown in the pit, and they say he's gonna have to fight him. They throw him in with a monster, and I thought this shit was awesome. So good throughout the movie, and it makes me sad that The Last Jedi didn't utilize him more because he's so great in this movie. But I could always have more Chewie in my movies. Cool. The next round is I just called it All Them Scoundrels, and this is a part for you guys just to tell me other characters you really liked throughout the movie. Get to someone later on, but this is for like kind of supporting cast, some people who only make it for the first half of the movie, or and you guys know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Andrew, go ahead. Who are your favorite people in the movie that weren't Han, Chewie, Lando?
Oh, that weren't okay. Yeah, okay. Lando was going to be one, but the forearm dude, Rio. What's his name?
Yeah. Jon Favreau's who did the voice.
Is that? I thought that was who that was. He was great. Sad to see him go. But of course, Woody Harrelson's one of my favorite actors of all time, and he was also great in this one. You kind of could tell what was going to happen between him and Han Solo going into this movie, as far as like him showing. He's kind of showing Han how bleak the world can be, I guess, how the universe can be. And it only makes it worse as time goes on. And I did see him becoming a traitor near the end, kind of a mile away, but I still appreciated that. But he was great. And also Paul Bettany, also one of my favorite actors. He is a fucking great villain, man. I mean, he's great as Vision, but he just, I don't know, man. I could have used more of him too. He was really great. So probably those two guys are my top two. And then Rio was under them, and also Tandy Newton, of course. I like that whole crew. They were great. Tandy Newton leaves us a little bit too early in the movie, and that kind of sucks. But other than that, who else we got here? Other than those other people, the ones that we can't mention right now.
Oh, I was just saying, we can move on to Joey if you can't think of him.
Okay,
Maybe
let's move on. Let's move on.
Joey?
I like the Marauders. I thought the Marauders were pretty cool. Like the head Marauder, like his/her helmet. Was great. Like they're like speeder bikes or whatever were rad. Like Woody Harrelson was cool. Was a cool character. Like the way he was shooting his guns. Like a rad, cool ass gunslinger was dope. Let's see. His crew was good. I liked seeing the again when like Lando and Han are in their first card game. There's like all these like awesome looking like aliens around. They're like super cool, man. Yeah. Like there's one dude, he's just like a big eyeball with like, just like one eyebrow, and it's like, pointed down like a V, like he's mad, and all these other like practical like aliens that just looked awesome. And my last one will be, I think I'm saying this right, L337. Who was the? Yeah, L3. We'll say L3. Who was the? Do you guys know the voice of L3? I thought it might have been.
It's some
Brianna
British
Tarth,
lady, but
actress.
It's not her.
Yeah, I thought it seemed too weird to her to be in two movies like that. But she was great. She's just like telling her robots like, go help your friends, go help your friends get free or whatever. And that one like robot just runs over and just like, freedom, just starts knocking off the little like controllers off the other robots, and then just like go wild and start crushing shit. But I like the Marauders, L37 or L3, whatever her name is.
Her name was Phoebe.
Yeah, L337.
Yeah,
I don't know what she's from.
Yeah, I don't either. I just saw her IMDb link.
Is that all you got, Joey?
Yeah.
Stefan, your favorite scoundrels?
I liked the gang right at the beginning. I loved the little four-armed guy. I forgot what his name was.
Rio.
Yeah, he was awesome.
So.
He had that great line when he was, he's like, so-and-so was right. Don't die alone, kid. And then he dies. And sadly enough, Jump to the Future, Han more or less does die without somebody. Well, I guess with his son. But
damn.
They were good. I like the Marauders, the look of them a lot. And I pretty much liked everybody in the gang. I liked Kira a lot. I thought, what's her face did a really great job. Totally forgot her name.
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke. I thought she was awesome as the Kira character, and she had good dimension to her. They were all pretty good, and L3 was the shit, man. It was awesome seeing her do her thing and like salvage parts.
Sweet. All right, cool. Yeah, I liked the Marauders. I thought were dope. I love all the masks and the outfits. Everything Joey is saying about all the creatures that are in this movie, especially in the card playing scenes, are awesome. What else do we got? I like the first crew too. I felt like they went a little too soon. I would have liked for Tandy Newton to stay around, just to see her and Woody's character development and stuff. But that doesn't mean that we won't get they could show up again somewhere else,
some other moment in time.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everything's kind of going backwards, forwards, and I'm down for whatever they want to do. Kira was awesome. I like Paul Bettany, but I did not care for the design of the character, because originally it was played by Michael K. Williams from The Wire, and he was a CG alien character, and I don't know what that design looked like, but I'd be very interested just because I did like, though, in Paul Bettany, when he got mad, his scars would flare up and get redder. Yeah. And I was like, that's cool, but it's like, what if he turned into, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's Star Wars, man. You can make up all kinds of aliens, dude. And I was really psyched when he was playing the character, and I knew he was CG, but then they couldn't get him back because of some other involvement with something to reshoot the stuff that Ron Howard had to do. So, I'd be very interested to see like what his character was supposed to look like. But Paul Bettany did a great job. I just wish they would have maybe done a little more with his look. Because when I just look at him, I'm like, oh, it's Vision, it's Paul Bettany. It's like, come on, Star Wars, give me something a little more.
I definitely would have liked to seen them with the scars going red and his eyes being bloodshot. Like, as you got like towards the end of the film when things get crazy, like it to get redder or maybe bleed or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like really give me a little more. But
it's not a fully realized concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then I think he was a fine villain. I think he worked for this movie. He wasn't someone I was like, I need this guy to stick around. We didn't forget about him. His name's Lando. He's played by Donald Glover. What'd y'all think?
All right, so I liked him a lot. I think that that guy is fucking super talented. He can really do no wrong, Donald Glover. And I like the fact that they're both, he and Han are like, it's like you could say thick as thieves. They're both thieves. They're both cheaters. They've both grown up in environments where they have to be. And I like that kind of combination of the two. And I'd be really excited. I am really excited for the inevitable Lando movie. Him cheating with the cards was great, and his scenes with L3 were fucking great. All the different capes and all that were really cool, and could have done a little bit more with him as well. I kind of like how it ended with another Sabacc game. That was cool, I thought, as well.
Yeah, man, I thought Lando was great. Donald Glover did a great job. I love that they kept the hand thing. He's calling him Han. The way he played the character, that sort of suave, with the, and he had his capes, he had to look, really, dapper. The stuff with L3 was great with him. He kind of had his own little like partner in crime, like Han and Chewie. He's got L3. I thought it was good.
Sweet. Stefan?
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I like those moments where you could kind of catch where he was doing the Billy D. Williams kind of effect in his voice, saying Han, or, like drawing something out a little bit longer. Like he did a really good job of embodying that character in, I'd say, a better way than Alden Ehrenreich did for Han Solo. But, it was subtle, and Donald Glover was able to make this kind of his own as well. I liked the little kind of like galactic pansexual like little references they were making about like him and L3 had kind of like subtle hints towards them having some kind of like romantic or physical relationship with one another. She said something like, you're gonna have to do that thing that I like, or something like that, and then he makes this like rolls his eyes or something. And then she has that line where he's talking to Han, they're going back and forth, and she's like, well, if you're done flirting, blah, 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 and he's like, sit down, baby, or whatever. So it seemed like a very progressive representation of his character, and it was kind of cool. He's just a man about the galaxy. He was a badass. He was really great. I love the environments that you found him in, and his friends and everything. I loved the style in which he kept the Falcon and his cape room and everything. It was an awesome job. It was a really great casting.
Agreed with what everyone said. I thought Donald Glover was great as Lando. I think this is kind of what you want from your actor, to like give those subtle nods to the actor that played him later, or before. And I think he did a great job of that while giving some of his own personality into it as well, which was cool. And I loved all the L3 stuff that Stefan mentioned earlier. It sounded like that stuff was so cool. Just the coolness of Lando was, you could tell as soon as you saw the first Lando shot. When you see him, you're like, that dude's cool as fuck. Can't wait to see what happens. One of my favorite moments in the movie is when L3 is talking to Kira about her relationship with Lando. Thought that was hilarious, and I laughed the entire time. When she's like, it'll never work out. Because, and I thought that scene was really great. So, I think Andrew is going to touch on what I'm about to touch on.
Oh, I just wanted to say before we move on to the next subject here, I love the line that was in the trailer where he's like, everything that you've heard about me is true. And I think that's a really cool line because he seems like he's the kind of guy, even if there's bad rumors about him, he just likes that people are talking about him. I think he'll just take anything. Like, it's maybe even connected to the pansexuality or something. Like, he just doesn't give a shit, which I think is really cool. It's like, whatever you heard about me, it's true. Whatever the fuck it was. So I think that was such a fucking smooth-ass line. So, yeah.
Okay, Stefan, you're probably going to have to help me out with this next one. But when they take L3's brain out and put it into the Millennium Falcon, do you know, like, what's the line? The line from Star Wars that C-3PO says.
Oh, it says, I don't know where this ship learned to communicate, but it has a very strange dialect. And
yes.
That's like,
that shit is sick.
It's so good because it's like it's so good because it's such a subtle thing that's so far overarching.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you're like, wait, what? The fucking Falcon has like some kind of brain in it or some kind of soul essentially in it that we've been it's and that whole thing in the article about Lawrence Kasdan or them talking about L3, whatever, one of the articles one of you guys posted, they talk about how it's like that's what makes the Falcon special, or that's it's a new revelation of something that makes the Falcon special. And I thought that was really cool, especially that they it seems like almost coincidental that it connects. It seems almost coincidental that it connects with that line in some way. Like it was almost like kind of a stroke of luck. But at the same time, if that is, they went back and looked at it and decided that was a key moment or something. It was just really surprising and really cool.
That's one thing I really like about Solo is all the little things that kind of happen in it that you don't expect. This could easily been a throwaway film and just been like, all right, whatever, I've seen Solo's beginnings. But there's little tidbits in this movie that are so good like that, and something we'll talk about later on. But then it makes me think, is Han pilot or is L3 of it? Like, how much can she control of the Falcon?
She's just basically like
she's
basically like the greatest GPS you could possibly have on your phone.
Yeah.
I think both Chewie and Han, that scene where it shows them getting into the groove and flying together. Probably to jump back.
I'm 190 years old.
Yeah, probably to jump back. That was probably one of my favorite Han and Chewie scenes that I missed. But yeah, one thing I really liked was seeing the handles of the Falcon, because if you look at the old movies, it just looks like they're kind of pressing buttons.
Oh, right.
Right. And hitting switches, so that was awesome.
Oh, well, that'll lead us into the next question. What did y'all think about the Millennium Falcon's design? Because it's not the one we know from Star Wars, A New Hope.
All right. This really sucks on my part, but I think I went down to drink my fucking drink or something, and I missed the fucking shot where it knocks off the piece. You know what I'm talking about? In the front?
Yeah. It doesn't knock off. He ejects it.
Is that what happens? I fucking missed that, dude.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to it the whole time.
Yeah, he ejects it to get the attention of that creature, the Maw, or whatever they were called.
Oh, I might have seen that, but maybe I didn't put two and two together or something.
Yeah, it follows into that black hole or whatever that gravity vortex they were falling into.
Right, which is a similar thing that happens in Star Trek 2009 or something.
Yeah, and it jettisons weight and everything, yeah.
Yeah, the design was great. It was really cool to see it new and fresh and clean, and to see the fucking Han destroy the fuck out of it. I've always liked that idea of like if you were to take like a beat up fucking like Dodge Dart from 1978 or whatever the fuck back to caveman times, they'd be like, what is this magical device? But to us it's a piece of shit. And then to everybody else in Star Wars, it's the Millennium Falcon is a piece of shit, but it's Han's piece of shit. You know, like it's fucking his baby, and it does have a good engine under the hood. So everything else, it just looks bad on the outside to everybody in the story. And I don't know. I like to see the progression of what happens with that, because it seems like, like we see in the movie, as soon as he gets it, it turns to shit. But other than that, other than the piece falling off and it being cleaner, there's not really any other changes, right? Well, I guess L3, but that's not cosmetic.
Yeah, I thought it was different. I didn't expect when they were making this movie for it to have any kind of different look. So when it was revealed that it had like that whole piece that I never knew existed, I was like, this is pretty sweet. There's going to be a story to tell. A reason it's missing that piece.
Right.
Now, the current incarnation of the... But, Joey, thoughts on the design?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Just kind of seeing it brand new and seeing how it got to the Millennium Falcon as we know it. I thought it was cool to see. I don't have too much to say about it, but it was just cool to see the progression.
Cool. Stefan?
The first time I saw it, I was like, bullshit, this is going to suck. This is awful. This is so stupid. And then I saw a review of the toy review for the new Millennium Falcon that came out. A little tidbit, it's smaller than any other Millennium Falcon that's been released, which is stupid. And they have a whole thing where the front part detaches, and like the toy, you open it up and you could just lay a figure down and close it. It's like so dumb. So I was like, in the movie I was just like, I'm still kind of not into this, but I'm like, there'll be a good moment. There'll be a good moment as to what that thing is or why they're going to use it. And then when it finally happened, I was like, that's kind of a cheap moment to just get to where we were with the Falcon. But I'm like, thinking what Andrew said about seeing Han just totally fuck the ship up, I'm like, okay, I like that. I think that's pretty cool. Initially, I think it looks pretty dumb. I like the Falcon, how we've known it. So I'm glad that piece of shit escape pod is gone. And I thought it was well used to get rid of that monster. And it was funny that the satellite dish got knocked off in this one too. So they've probably been through thousands of those by now.
Yeah.
So the Millennium Falcon toy is basically the new one. Doubles as a carrying case. Basically, you just throw your toy in there. Yeah, he's flying now.
It's the. I watched a guy review it. Yeah, it's you can fit like 3 figures in it. It's stupid.
Are they do like sit in chairs, or is it just like you just toss them in there?
They sit in chairs in the cockpit.
Oh, okay.
They'll sit in a chair, but the cockpit opens from the front. It doesn't really lead in. It opens from the top, and then there's just like a compartment in the back, which makes no sense. Just for like, it looks like sleeping quarters or something. And then there's the escape pod compartment. So there's like places for 3 figures. It's really not a super amazing toy. The one they released for The Force Awakens was really good. But anyway, in the movie, I'm like whatever. And then I hate the color scheme in just the blue clean look. But like Andrew was saying, it was cool to see it like really nice and clean, and especially on the inside. There's a great video floating around. If you look it up, I forgot who did it, but it's Donald Glover walking through the Millennium Falcon, giving kind of a tour of it, and it's really amazing.
Yeah,
nice.
I think it was through Disney, like Disney XD or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I like the design, and I was just kind of waiting for the moment. I think all of us are waiting for, like, how the fuck's he gonna lose the front of that ship? When's it gonna become the Falcon I know? And then he destroyed everything about it. Which I thought was great, hilarious. And, it makes me think of, the OG trilogy. Why did he never clean it? Like, it's so dirty compared to the way we see it here. It's disgusting. I don't want to sit in those seats, guys.
Yeah. It's probably inconspicuous to be flying around with that thing looking like a junker, It's for a spice smuggler. Probably makes sense.
I guess,
for it to
but
be
it's
like
the Millennium Falcon, dude. Everybody knows that ship, or they should know it.
But they all think it's a piece of shit anyway, except for who's flown it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Here I'm gonna do favorite scene. Andrew, go.
Oh man, okay. I gotta say, like I said before, it was the pit with Chewie, and then he starts speaking Wookiee. I just love that scene, man. I could have had a whole lot more of that. And you see his see Chewie's strength a lot in this movie as well, not just in that scene, which is cool. And fucking he's ripping a fucking arm off in another scene. I was like, damn, Disney is not pulling any punches with this character, dude. But definitely that initial pit scene, I guess I would have to say. Joey,
I think I liked the robot uprising scene.
Yeah.
I think I enjoyed that scene. There's so much in this movie that just looks great. Like there's some cool stuff in this movie, but I think overall, I enjoyed that scene the most.
Cool, Stefan.
I really, really enjoyed the train scene, all the stuff going on that rail, and then the Marauders coming after him, and then the stormtroopers with the magnetic boots and detaching the couplers and stuff. I thought that was all good. I was really sad to see Tandy Newton bite the dust so quickly. But it did play to the whole, like, to Woody Harrelson's character, his kind of like, oh, well, there goes another one, find another one, you know. And my runner-up would probably be, it was just in my head, I forgot. When they meet Lando in the cantina, that place just seemed like the one. Maz Kanata's place seemed like very rustic and very comfortable by comparison to the one where they met Lando, that cantina, and it just seemed grimy as fuck. I was like, this looks dangerous, and that shot is so iconic. Even just after the movie came out, of Han kind of his silhouette leaning over all those criminals, it's like that could be a painting. You know, by Caravaggio, and just be like the Han Solo at so Cantina, 1847. I don't know. I got all my times and my artists all out of whack. Fuck myself. Anyway, that was probably my. It was so good though. I honestly, it felt like it dragged a little bit here and there, but I just really fucking enjoyed it. And maybe it's just Star Wars. Maybe I'm just a fanboy, but I'm into that shit. Sorry.
Yeah. No. My favorite scene, I'm surprised no one said it, the fucking Kessel Run.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. It ties it all together. He did it. I thought that scene was great. It was great to see it because you've heard about it. You hear about it, you know. It comes up again and again. And it was nice to see it, but I also agree with all your guys' choices, too. I thought the Chewie meeting we talked about earlier, fucking dope. Love the robot uprising. It's a very fun moment that turns into a very sad moment, but awesome. And then I also thought that fight on the train was sick. Them trying to boost that. God damn it! What's that shit called?
Fuel.
Unobtainium.
Yeah.
Unobtainium.
Coaxium. It was called coaxium.
Yeah. I thought that shit was dope because it's like Solo's a heist movie. You got to see you got to see it try to go down. But yeah, those are some really very, very good scenes. So now we're moving on to what didn't you like, Andrew?
I think more like kind of broad strokes kind of shit. Like it kind of does feel somewhat uneven, and honestly I think I need to see it again to really pinpoint what's off about it. But the two directors thing, it's just, yeah, you can kind of see it. It's not as bad as
Justice League?
Justice League. It's not as bad as that, but it's definitely there. It's somewhere. I don't know. I wish I could be more specific with this, but also it kind of seems like the villain is more of almost like an afterthought. He doesn't really become really a villain until like late in the movie. Although I like it. Here's the thing. I'm talking story-wise, right? I loved his performance, but as for from a script writing perspective, that character does not really drive the story until the end. It kind of felt like, as far as being the antagonist to the protagonist. And what else we got? They should have. It got a little messy with Han's character arc insofar as he's. What's the best way I can say this? It doesn't seem to be that big of a deal when he shoots Woody. Like whenever maybe he should have even been even more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the beginning, and then we start to see his turn into becoming this kind of man of the world, man of the universe in Star Wars. You know, like somebody that is more realistic and pessimistic and all that. Like, and that's all because of this Woody character. I think stuff like that was kind of weak in the movie, and it's because this movie got fucking lost in the shuffle. You know, 2 directors, reshoots, all this kind of shit. That's what happened. And they made a good one, in my opinion, at the end of the day, but I think it does suffer from those kinds of things.
All right, Joey?
Is this movie marketed as a heist movie? Or like, yo, it's a heist movie. This is like, has it been marketed that? Like,
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Because I don't really see it as a heist film at all. I understand they have to go get something, and they go get that thing, just like any other movie.
We're putting together a job or something.
Sure, it's like a job. It's not necessarily a heist movie. So I hear a lot of people saying it's like a heist movie. I'm like, I don't see that. But I think Andrew had some good points. It's hard to see like Han become that sort of like shoot first guy at the end. Like where that transition happened. I know he did get, he did get stabbed in the back by Woody Harrelson's character, but I guess at the end he was just kind of like, I guess it's you or me. So I guess I'll just go ahead and shoot first and just call it a day. But as far as like the whole movie, man, it's a good film. I feel like there's something that's just like, and I don't know, it's probably a lot of the reshoots, the 2 directors. There's something missing that's just making it a great film. And I can't pinpoint it. Maybe a host of things, but I really enjoy it. I can't really think of anything that I really can say that I disliked about the film. Something that was like a real, just like, I didn't like that. That's something I don't like. I honestly can't pinpoint it.
Cool. Stefan?
Just before I say that, I do want to say one of my favorite scenes was the trench warfare stuff when Han was serving for the Empire. All that stuff was great. Again, the wars, baby. That's what we're talking. It was some wars. Okay, moving on to dislikes. Absolutely none. It's a Star Wars film. 100% great movie all the way. Just kidding. Just kidding. I just, I really, one thing, and it might just be nitpicky, but I really disliked the little intro text bits right before. It seemed too cheesy and pulpy and too like rushy into this is what's happening now. I feel like that could have been done a little better. What else did I dislike? It just seemed slow near the beginning of the 3rd act. It seemed like it started dragging. I thought the reveal of the Marauder being that young girl who I'm guessing she was talking about her mother and stuff. Is she Tandy Newton's character's daughter?
That I did.
That's what I thought, but I don't think she is.
There's a connection there somehow, and so it made more motivation for like the Marauders were maybe trying to get her back, but she sacrificed herself, but she would have known. I don't know. That was kind of weird. So that seemed like a big hole in it, and it seemed really rushed into that point. Like what Maddie said with Paul Bettany's villain, it seemed like he was kind of, or which one do you guys forget, but he was kind of an afterthought in terms of his design. I did like that he had this like temperament issue. That was kind of cool. What else did I dislike about it? I guess for just like a few things, I didn't like a lot of the storytelling, just like the mucky storytelling. I feel like it was a really simplistic kind of execution for a Han Solo outing or a Star Wars movie. Kind of like stays in the shallow waters for the most part, but it has its moments, and I think I don't know. I can't think of any other dislikes, so I'm starting to get into like praising it again. I'm sure there was other things, because it is kind of a messy movie, and like what Andrew was saying with like character motivations and stuff, they seem just kind of like slapped on the barrelhead, like take it for what it is. And sometimes that's okay with me, and other times I'm kind of rubs me the wrong way. Oh, the one thing I at first disliked was when right before Han met Chewie, it was just the Rancor scene, feed him to the beast, and like I was like, are they really mining it? It's like, this is very Force Awakens. Are they really fucking that, whatever. But it turned out to be something I did like. But at first, maybe it's just a spin on that whole thing as a Star Wars convention. But we got to be careful with those conventional things because we're going to end up just carbon copying the movies. Invent new shit.
Well, some people didn't like it when big things were done in a new Star Wars movie. And they're like, whoa, much. It's too different. You've destroyed everything I loved in my childhood. So make it safe. But then people complain that it's too safe. So I don't think there's a middle ground in Star Wars. It's going to be love or hate for every film that comes out.
As with everything Star Wars, there needs to be a balance. So I think that's true. I think that's true for the execution of these films. They gotta fucking
balance in the Force.
Well, that Solo is a little rough around the edges, and for a Solo movie, it worked for me. Like the overall, I don't really think. I mean, Paul Bettany's character, I thought could have, like I said before, they could have done something more with him. He could have been. I don't know. I mean, I went to this movie to see Solo, so I wanted to see Han do stuff. None of the stuff about him like shooting first. I feel like people think Han Solo is a big idiot, and he's not. At no point did I think he wouldn't be able to shoot first or learn from what he was being told, because I feel like if you're a good thief or just you live in that world, you got to catch on real quick, and I think Han Solo does. And I think maybe it's a little bit in the acting, but at no point was kill Woody. It's gonna happen, dude. Like, and just the way he killed Greedo, he doesn't wait around for bullshit. I thought it was it's almost an Indiana Jones moment too, just to say when the guy's swinging the sword around, he's like, nah, fuck this, So. And I love that, like, because Woody Harrelson's character through the whole thing has he's always teaching this kid something, and Han's like, man, I've learned. Bam, you gone, sucker. Yeah. I don't need Woody to stay around. I don't need to see him in the next film. I'm ready for the Han, Chewie, Lando adventures. You killed off the rest of his crew. He's going this movie. I don't need him sitting around for the rest of it. But yeah, I don't really think too much bugged me. I mean, I get everyone's gripes for sure. But at the end of when I first walked out of it, I was like, man, I don't know. That doesn't really feel it. Like, it's like, was that a Star Wars movie? Do I even know what a Star Wars movie is anymore?
Who am I?
Oh my God. Yeah, basically. And then like the more I thought about it, I was like, that was a fun movie. And if I had any complaints with The Last Jedi not feeling like a Star Wars movie, Solo does feel like a Star Wars movie. It hits all those notes that I love from my nostalgia. I get all the references, and I love that. That makes me feel good when I see a movie. Not to say that I don't want to see more stuff in the Star Wars universe that pushes stuff away from the Skywalker, the Solo stuff, but I'm fine with going back in time too, man. We haven't had a lot of Star Wars movies, and it makes me upset when people are like, I don't know, they're just kind of going to be bad now. They're making too many of them. It's like, dude, we only had 3 for the longest time. Yeah, you remember that shit when you were a kid? You're like, I guess I'll just watch A New Hope again. Yeah. Guess I'll just watch the rest of them. And then you remember how excited we all got when the prequels were coming out? Oh, man, we were so psyched, right? We're going to get 3 more Star Wars movies. And those sucked.
Lucas is
I don't know.
drying his
In my
tears
opinion,
with your money, people. His sad little man tears.
Oh my God, he has so much of it. I hate you. So does Disney.
It's okay. It got
cool.
us
So
here.
before we wrap all this up, the holy shit moment in fucking Solo, I did not see coming. And if any one of you says you did see it coming, I think you're liars and cheats.
An asshole.
Darth Maul motherfucking shows up as part of the Crimson Dawn talking to Kira. What the fuck, Andrew? Go.
Yeah, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, holy shit. I think I even like audibly said something in the theater like that. So he is training her to be like him, or what is going on with their relationship? Is that even like, what can we glean from this?
Someone needs to watch Clone Wars animated series and Rebels to get caught up.
Oh, is that so? It's all covered there.
Oh yeah, dude, they're tying them universes together.
Well, not necessarily with Kira.
Goddamn.
Well, not with Kira, yeah, but
Not with Kira, but we find out how Darth Maul is alive.
Okay, but as far as him and Kira, is she training to be a bow staff lightsaber
We don't know
wielding?
yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
No, he's not. He's not a Sith at this point.
He's just a trainee?
So when Darth Maul dies, he's not a Sith anymore. He's just a guy that can wield a lightsaber. He's a Force user.
Right.
He's part of the Crimson Dawn. He does a crime syndicate now.
Okay.
But he can still wield a lightsaber because he was trained. But he's not like a random Sith anymore. He's not part of the rule of 2 or anything.
Okay, gotcha. So she is going to be. How did she? So it's not even explained, right? How she got mixed up with him. You got to find that out later, and like what their ultimate.
There's going to be 2 films. One with the Solo story.
That's
his love of his life. Second would be Princess Leia. So.
Right. Okay. I liked it a lot. That scene left me with so many questions. But, yeah, all right, yeah. I mean, I thought it was cool, of course. I mean, it's fucking Darth Maul. He was the coolest part of the sequels, really. Yeah. I mean, prequels.
The Kira stuff is all new to everyone.
Okay, all right. I just didn't know. All right, I'm done.
Okay, I totally didn't expect it. Like, this is the first time that we've seen something from the animated series, move over into the film world. Like I was blown away. I was like, okay, I knew he was alive because I'd watched most of the animated series and was like pretty excited. Do you guys know if it was Ray Park or was it a different actor?
It was definitely Ray Park.
Okay.
It's Ray is the guy from the cartoon.
Yeah. Oh, is it? That's cool. Yeah, it sounded like the cartoon voice.
It is Ray Park, the actor, but a different voice. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I thought it was awesome. I can't wait to see more of that. We'd always talked about like having Ahsoka Tano like come up in the newer films like 7, 8, 9, but that hasn't happened. We finally sort of got a little bit of that with Darth Maul coming back into the fray, and just fuck, man, I'm down for a Han too, man, a Solo too. Like I wasn't too excited, about like a Solo movie. It's like, okay. Now we're doing spin-offs. But yeah, I like I said, I enjoyed it, so I'm definitely down for part 2 now. You've turned Han's first love of his life is now a villain. She's not like the damsel in distress. Like she's kind of she got separated and she has her own life. She's got her own thing going. And I thought that was really great. So that's me.
Sweet. Stefan?
Man, that shit was dope. When fucking Darth Maul, you're like, because as soon as I heard the voice, I was like, oh, the voice sounds familiar. Who is this? What kind of character is this? This is a huge reveal right now. There's something is about to happen. What the fuck? And then I saw the metal boots, and for a split second, I was like, no way. And then he reveals that hood. He takes the hood back, and you're like, oh my god, what are they doing? And I'm like, for a movie that seemed to be, as much as I really truly do love it, a movie that seems to be like kind of obvious and a little bland at times throughout, it has this moment where you're just
you loved it.
No, I do love it, but in terms of storytelling, like all the stuff we're talking about, they do pretty obvious choices, but it works. But this hits you like a curveball, man. This comes straight out of nowhere. And it's really cool to see him. I like how he did a little twirl, to be like, oh, okay, this is that guy with the double-sided one. So it was funny. I almost wish that scene was longer and he would have done some like twirl kicks and gone around the room and thrown the lightsaber a little bit, and then came back and been like, anyway, we're going to be working together really closely now, so I hope you liked what you just saw. And then but it was really good. It was a really good review. I like how they're really serious about this continuity connecting throughout the cartoon series, comic books. Like they're going through it with the fine-tooth comb, and I think that's maybe where this movie, if anybody says, may suffer from, because it's got so much hectic behind the scenes issues and stuff and whatever. It seems as though it fits nicely right in there, and I think as the other movies come out, we'll look back on this one and be like, oh man, like where would we be without Solo? What was I talking about? The Darth Maul thing. This one takes place between Solo or this one, that time frame of his life takes place between Solo and the end of Rebels, when other events happen to Darth Maul. So as such, it doesn't seem like we know exactly his involvement. It seems like he's in charge of the Crimson Dawn, but we don't know how he got there exactly, right? Or Rebels, they talk about him getting into crime in the role of a crime lord.
Yeah, they talk about it.
Okay.
There is I think there's a gap in Rebels and somewhere where no one really knows what Maul was up to. Solo's Maul takes place.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
it definitely just opens the doors for like, oh my god, what the fuck, So I think that's what they're intended to go for, and it was. I wonder if it was like kind of a last minute thing to just be like, whether that's the case or not. One thing I'm sure of is I'm really fucking glad that they're bringing Darth Maul into the fold with these newer films and giving him his due. Mm-hmm. We're gonna see some fucking fan favorite, man. We're gonna see some amazing Darth Maul shit. And if it's not a sequel to Solo, this aspect of the film, this is the end credit scene that isn't the end credit scene that's gonna connect to the other movies. Like Darth Maul's coming, whether it's a Solo sequel or not.
Say, Disney, you sly bastards.
You sly motherfuckers. You Lando'd me.
Putting my Darth Mauls in there?
You played a hand.
Come on. You know I wanted this, and you gave it to me. Dude, I was so fucking psyched. I was like, when it was happening, I was like, no, you're not. And I was like, you just did it. Fucking lost my shit. And it even shows the lightsaber he was using, which has a new design element on it. Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It
was more like the Rebels one.
I know. It's like... Yeah, I know. We're in that universe, man, and I just didn't think they were gonna do it. I liked that, why wouldn't they choose the guy who plays Flash in the TV show to be in Justice League? You know who did it first? Did it with an animated show. You got no excuses, DC. No excuses. But yeah, I thought it was great. I hope Solo 2 continues the story. I mean, I'm ready for. I guess Boba Fett's probably the next thing we'll get. But I'm like Joey too. I was just like, Solo's gonna be a one-off. That's sweet. I'll get a Han Solo movie. Wipe my hands of it. I'm done because I'm not like a huge Han Solo fan. I love the Jedi and the Sith shit more. But holy fuck, you dragged me back in, Disney. You went, what if we put a Sith Lord in this? And I was like, you got me. But yeah, man, I thought showing Darth Maul was great. It was icing on, I enjoyed that movie, and I was like, this is fun. But then when they showed that moment, I was like, holy fuck, they know what they're doing. They're thinking next they want more Solo films, and I knew that was going to happen. I was like, how much do I want to see of Han Solo? It's like, oh yeah, add Darth Maul to that. Han, Darth Maul, Chewie, Kira. Damn, I'm ready for that movie. Jabba. When's Solo 2 come out? I'm ready, Disney. All right, so you all know what time it is. We wrapping up this review. It's time for the Indeeds. Andrew, hit us.
I'm gonna give it a solid 7.85 Indeeds.
All right, Joey.
I'll give it an 8.5 Indeeds.
Woo! Damn, that's what I'm talking about. Stefan.
Man, amidst all its flaws, I really fucking love this movie. I'm gonna give it a 7.99999999999.
Just not an 8.
Not just yet an 8. Maybe a sequel will make it an 8 someday, but I just want to play it safe right now because...
All right.
I don't know why. I think it's... 7.9 indeed on this one. We'll say. That's good, right? That's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. 8 is like blown away. 9 is orgasm. 10 is I'm dead.
Citizen Kane. Some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was watching this movie, I would have said 7 out of 10. You show me that Darth Maul scene, though, you get an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice.
Literally, that scene made this movie for me because it makes me so excited. What else could come in?
Because I loved it. I loved it.
I think you are, dude. The 9999,
right.
Just make it an 8, dude.
Just out of pure pressure, we're gonna go
you want
8.
to.
A solid
0125. Yeah, solid 8. We'll say a solid 8 for Solo. I love it. I love Warwick Davies, man. That whole Marauder bit, that was
So
Willow,
great.
man. We got Ron Howard showed up for some of this, man, and kudos to him. I think he saved this. fucking
Cliff
film.
Howard
Oh
was
yeah.
there?
Also,
Yeah.
Clint.
Clint.
Great.
It's Clint.
Clint.
So
Oh
good.
yeah, that's right.
Such a good moment.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good.
yeah.
All of
He's
that.
in all of his movies, man.
Yeah, that's true. He is.
So we're telling you, SuperHouse listeners, go watch Solo if you're ever on the fence about how good it is.
Does anybody know the box office numbers?
It's
all right,
like
so we got
3 million or something like that. It's pretty bad, man. And this since they reshot it, this was like the most expensive Star Wars movie ever.
Oh no.
How much did you say? 30 something?
but that doesn't
103, something like that.
within the Disney universe.
Yeah.
Ron Howard said it was a personal best for him because it's over 100 million. But for Star Wars,
That's awesome.
it's bad. So whatever, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's
It's-
gonna be it's gonna flash
It'll
the
be
pan.
good. It'll be good. It'll turn out to be either it'll make the successive movies a little better from how they gauge the audience's acceptance of it, and and those events in turn will make this one even better as time goes along.
I think it'll hang around a little this summer because I think the next big movie, like there's like Jurassic World in the middle of June. You got Incredibles 2, Ocean's 8. Like none of those. I think people want to see those, but none of those are like Mission Impossible. Like you know what I mean? Nothing's like people are going to go see them, but I think they're going to kind of be like Solo. I think Solo is going to have time to kind of hang out and let people see it again or get word of mouth whether they want to see it or not.
People will finally see it and it'll be like, shit, that was good. Like, we're pretty...
I think you're all underestimating
critical.
dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
And plus, I've heard early reviews is that Fallen Kingdom is pretty dope.
Really?
I hope so.
But
hope so.
yeah.
All right.
But all right. So we've just finished the review. I had some homework for the boys and myself. I wanted you guys to rate all of the Star Wars films to date. Andrew, you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Number 1 through however many we fucking got.
I want
at
to
this
go
point.
worst
I
to
didn't number them.
best. Worst to best. Is that okay?
Dog ate my
Okay,
homework.
that's fine.
I want to save best for last. So here we go. At the bottom of the list, Attack of the Clones. That movie sucks some major shit. And then Phantom Menace after that. Little better. Not great. I thought Revenge of the Sith was the best of the prequels, so that one's next. And then The Last Jedi. Then Solo.
I feel like these lists are going to be very similar.
Then Force Awakens, then Return of the Jedi, then Rogue One. I put Rogue One above Return of the Jedi. I fucking love Rogue One. And then Star Wars, and then, of course, Empire at the very tippity top of my list, of course.
Sweet. Joey?
I did not get this homework assignment. I was asleep at that time, or my dog ate my homework.
Okay.
I was out that day.
Yeah, I was sick. So I'll try and go off the top of my head real quick. This is including obviously Rogue One and Solo. Yay.
Yeah, all the Star Wars movies to date.
Okay, all Star Wars movies to date. Okay. I'll start with the bottom. I'll probably say, I'll probably go with Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Return, whatever it's called. The Sith movie, the third one.
Revenge of
Revenge of Sith. I got a little time.
Revenge of Lucas.
Yeah, Revenge of Lucas.
Shits.
I'll probably then go to, let's see, Return of the Jedi, Last Jedi. Let's see, what do we got?
Force Awakens, Solo, Rogue One.
Yeah. Let's see, probably Solo, then Star Wars, The New Hope, then Force Awakens, then Rogue One, then Empire. Did I miss one?
I think you got it.
I think I got them all.
You like Force Awakens more than A New Hope?
All right. Stefan?
Here's the thing.
Let him talk. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I didn't grow up with Star Wars. So this whole childhood business doesn't work for me. So like
bold. I thought I was bold.
You know what I mean? Like I enjoy them.
This motherfucker watched Captain Kangaroo, son.
But I think just
Mad balls up in this bitch.
I definitely think I think they're probably a tie, honestly. I mean, they're so similar. Obviously, Star Wars was 40 years before or whatever. But I think I enjoy watching, and maybe I've seen Star Wars too many times. I think I enjoy Force Awakens more.
All right, I just didn't feel like we needed to let that one go without exploring that further.
Fine. Again, like a lot of people are crying about Solo and how their childhood or whatever has been taken away from them, and I don't have that. I'm sorry, and I'm kind of glad I don't have that.
I feel you.
Blasphemous things have just been said on this podcast.
Fair enough. That hurt, but I appreciate it. I respect that.
I don't. I'm sad now.
They're all good movies, man.
It's not everything to every. This is all I have, really.
No, this is all you have.
Yeah.
All right. And without further ado, Stefan, your list.
My list, I think I actually dislike The Phantom Menace more than Attack of the Clones, mainly because Jar Jar's not in Attack of the Clones as much. We see more of the universe. It's the only movie where we've seen Jedi everywhere with fucking lightsabers. Well, not the only. I guess Revenge of the Sith you see a little bit. And I feel like it has its moments. The battle scene, Yoda fighting, I love that. Phantom Menace had, Qui-Gon. It had some good moments, but to me, I think Attack of the Clones has a meteor kind of war thing going on. Okay, what did I say more? Worst was Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, then Revenge of the Sith, the prequels as they are. Revenge of the Sith, after going back and watching it, it's not as bad, but it's still pretty bad in my book. I hate it too, in a lot of ways. And then after the prequels, then I'd say, Solo. Solo, I think. Everything we just talked about. And then The Force Awakens, and I think I like The Last Jedi more than The Force Awakens.
Wow.
I think there's more to chew on. If you give it more of a chance. I think they're really trying out a lot of stuff, but they're using the same paints and palettes that they've been using for years. There's still the same things going on. So I like that they pushed some of the buttons and pulled some of the knobs and stuff. But I love them both. I think Force Awakens is great, but I think The Last Jedi just has, I don't know, I just think it's better. And then Return of the Jedi, then A New Hope, then Rogue One, fucking masterpiece. Rogue One. I don't care who directed it, who didn't direct it, how it went down. That thing is a fucking miracle. I love that movie. And Empire Strikes Back is just the quintessential, to me, Star Wars film. There's a whole massive war going on. You get lightsabers, you get all this like drama. It's got, it's the first. It seemed maybe like one of the earlier endings in films where like the villain kind of wins, or the cliffhanger, is a real kind of like, whoa, we may not get out of this kind of moment. And to me, that's, for my childhood, obviously, like that really set the stage for everything that I'm interested in this realm of like fiction and science fiction and entertainment. That's my ranks.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna do mine. At the very bottom, the worst. I'm gonna go with Stefan. I just bought the prequel trilogy, and I've tried to watch Phantom Menace like 3 times now, and Jar Jar is the worst, man.
Yeah.
It's so hard to sit there and listen to him. So Phantom Menace 1, Attack of the Clones. I agree with everything Stefan said. Dope ass Yoda fight. You get to see Jedis doing cool Jedi shit. There is a lot of bullshit in that movie, but they suck. Number 3, Revenge of the Sith, because it is the best of those 3. And then after that, I got The Last Jedi. Then I go Rogue One.
Wow.
Then I got Solo. And I feel like a lot of people were going to do what Stefan just did. I just had a shit ton of fun at Solo. It hit all the right notes. And I like downer Star Wars films as much as the next person, but it's kind of nice to just have a good, fun movie about some scoundrels and some stuff. And that Darth Maul scene, man, so good.
Of course, I picked the two most depressing ones. Yes, this is
After Solo, I got The Force Awakens. To me, that movie was awesome. I remember walking out of that and being like, how can anyone hate this? And then people hated it, and I was like, what the fuck's wrong with everyone? I thought I knew and then after Force Awakens, I got Return of the Jedi. I think I've told this story before about how you could order a Pizza Hut pizza and get a VHS, and my dad got Return of the Jedi, so that's the only one I had for a really long time as a kid, so I was like,
was that the greatest?
That's all I would watch. I mean, that's the first time I had seen it, so it was like my first introduction to Luke Skywalker, him being a Jedi.
The taste of that pizza would stick with me forever.
It's why I love pizza this day. Some people think it's Ninja Turtles. It's not. It's Return of the Jedi.
The Wars, Daddy, come watch the Wars, Daddy.
That's exactly how I sounded as a little baby Maddie. And then after that, and then after that, I got A New Hope, and then number 1, Empire Strikes Back. There's one scene that does it. Luke, I am your father. Blew my mind as a little kid. I was like, what? Amazing. But that's my list.
All right, SuperHouse Podcast listeners, that was episode 129 of the SuperHouse Podcast listeners. SuperHouse Podcast. We want to thank Shasta for contributing to the Patreon as always. Thanks for keeping us alive. We do this for you. And catch us on social media. Come check out the post. Leave us comments. Let us know how many Indeeds you give Solo. And have a good week, folks.
Goodbye, all.
This is Stefan from the SuperHouse Podcast. Be sure to check us out on Patreon, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and any other godforsaken social media outlet that we should be floating on.
We are basically on all social media.
Yeah, all social media.
Mainly Facebook and Twitter and Patreon.
Check out the links in the description.
We have a lot of cool goals set up on our Patreon. Like if you donate $1, you'll be able to give us a topic for us to talk about. And we'll talk about for maybe an hour or more. Who knows how long it'll take.
And that's pretty tight.
That's the coolest thing.
Wait, we're on the internet?
That's pretty good.
We can make money.
What?
If you donate $1,000, you get full frontal nudes.
We haven't set that up, but it's a possibility. If you give us $1,000, who knows what'll happen.
Check us out.
I'll do that. I'll do that.
You get to go on a date with one of us for $10,000.
But you pay for everything.
You get to have your way with Maddie for $20,000.
I'll give you Joey for a weekend.
For $30,000, we'll help you hide a body. Check out our Patreon.
SuperHouse Gigolo Project
2018.
Links in the description.